Hey Axis and Allies players, a good captain here. Welcome to round 6 of this game of 1914 played against a human opponent. Now, Austria-Hungary purchases 10 infantry and, predictably, assaults Moscow. Oh, okay, right. This is a... Okay. He's at 2-1 here. He sends in a third unit. And then... I'm just looking at the West Front. Let's just look at the West Front. Oh wow, solid blocker team in Trieste. Huh. And making a clearance attempt in Albania. Now, this is fun. I'm just gonna do this without seeing the results yet. What's the percentage? If you're over the board and you count up, uh, 2 plus 2 plus 2 equals 6. So there's that weird I should get a hit, right? Because you have so you can add up your factors and get 6. Uh, Same thing with 2 tanks, right? Say these are 3 artillery and regular Axis and Allies, but how would you compare 3 artillery to 2 tanks when you need to get 1 kill, as in this situation? Do you know which one's better? Because they're not the same. So 3 artillery getting a hit in 1 round of combat is 70, just over 70%, where if with 2 tanks it's exactly 75, as I recall. Yeah. So it's better if you had 2-3 attackers. That'd be better if you needed to clear something, just one hypothetical unit, than versus 3 artillery. Even though the fractions add up to 6 on both of those examples, it's greater with the one with fewer units because their attack value is higher, and so that there's a slight misconception, and this is shooting low. I'm a big, if in case anybody didn't know, I don't like low luck, and it's because of this right here. You're getting rid of something that the game engine runs on, and that is multiple hits. Because if you needed to kill 3 units, the tanks have a 0% chance of doing that, whereas the artillery, of course, do have a small percentage of doing that, and that's where the difference in percentage comes in. We all remember 5th grade math where you add fractions, so the frustrating thing might be why doesn't 3 over 6 plus 3 over 6 equal 6 over 6? Well, this is because there are different outcomes when you're using dice. You can roll. Um, you know what? This is a different video. I don't want to do that right now. So anyway, he's got a 70. I know we had just looked at it. It's a 70% chance of clearing the territory. Anyway, a digression. He rams the whole army into Moscow, and then supply trains in a small stream of infantry. The battle of Moscow, yeah, this was basically a squash. Yeah, 21 hits. How many guys were left in there? 12. Yeah, okay, so that's a squash. We're not really interested in his rolls. We're more interested in the Russian at this point, and the Russians roll up 2. So instead of having 27 infantry remaining for the Austrians, there's now 25. So it sucks, but the deed is done. And then he replenishes himself with 15 Russian IPCs. That's the painful part of this, but the Russians aren't out of the war. We continue to fight with the armies we have left, and we do have a rather interesting situation on the board here, which we'll get to. Okay, and then in Albania, whiffs the roll, so the Austrians end up in the 30% outcome, and the Italians end up inside there. They end up getting the hit. So yeah, the blocker wars are not going in favor of the CP pretty much everywhere. Although Smyrna was decent for the Ottomans. But the blocker wars are cute, but the set piece battles really are where the outcomes typically are decided. This is irritating, no doubt, absolutely, and especially here in this part of the board. Albania is, I think of it as like an ulcer. It's like this hole in your stomach, you know, the soft underbelly type thing of the Central Powers. There's not much the CP or the Entente can do beyond what I feel like I've shown or demonstrated here, but this is seriously irritating as the CP. You cannot ignore it when this happens. But more to say about that at the end of this game. Okay, I want to do a sort of a wrap up. Places 10 infantry, and now it's the Russians' turn. Okay, and no, we don't have an income, but we do have a combat move, so we're going to surrender this piece of ground to the Germans. Why? Because we don't want to deal with this 10. This is 10 infantry, 10 artillery. That's a 20 unit 3 attack plus the guy in Livonia. So I don't want to lose 10 of my infantry just to get squashed out by the Austrians on before my next turn. So yes, now it's time to use the Karelian escape hatch. We still have air superiority. I dare say nearly automatic supremacy, 3-1 in the local airspace here. And I do have quite a bit of artillery to make that interesting. Air superiority is sort of a moot point if you don't, or they don't have artillery, right? In this case, both sides have a respectable amount, but so the air supremacy is helpful for the Entente in this case. There's no more units except for the battleship, and there's just not a there's just nothing to do here. So that's it. We will remain a nuisance in this part of the board. It's not par if he attacks me, even without the air. But we have another fallback. We have Finland, so we can draw. There's options. Anyway, I don't know. This is kind of new for me. I've not experienced something like this yet, and I do feel like I know how this happened, so I'll save that for the recap at the end of the game. Anyway, thanks for watching. All the best. Bye-bye.